Good evening, I'm Jennifer E.
And I'm Jeff Arisola. Coming up on 5 Alive News, a 2-alarm blaze in Oklahoma City leaves one family looking for a place to live.
Holiday travelers are crowding Will Rogers World Airport today, and we'll have details on one program at OSU that's tops in the country.
Join us for these stories plus NFL highlights next.
From the 5 Alive News Center, Jennifer E. and Jeff Mirasola, Mike Morgan's weather, and Dick Pryor with sports. This is 5 Alive News.
Good evening, everyone. We thank you for joining us. Well, it could have been much worse. That's what Oklahoma City firefighters are saying this evening about the damage done to a Northeast Side apartment complex. The woman who lived in the apartment where the fire started was treated for smoke inhalation. After receiving oxygen at the scene, she refused a trip to the hospital in order to stay with her children. Now, the family had built a fire in their fireplace around noon today.
Apparently, it got out of control and is being blamed for doing more than $32,000 worth of damage. Our team coverage begins with firefighters' efforts at saving the apartment complex. Smoke could be seen pouring out of Unit C when firefighters first arrived on the scene. After evacuating everyone in the general vicinity of the fire, the next job was to make sure it didn't spread anymore. Firefighters using axes chopped holes in the roof to ventilate the fire and keep it from spreading along the caulk loft.
It can deal us a great deal of problem from the standpoint you have quite a bit of a common caulk loft in these type apartment buildings, and it can spread real laterally real quick, and you can have several units involved, just in a short period of time.
The building superintendent says the fire spread from the fireplace because the damper or flue was never opened. The woman who lived in Unit C was then quickly overcome by smoke and was administered oxygen. 5 Alive's Joanne Cardona continues her team coverage on where the family goes from here.
Shawn Coulter spent the afternoon trying to salvage what's left of her possessions. She lost most of her belongings, but she and her boyfriend were able to save some clothing and, more importantly, themselves and Shawn's 2 small children.
I've seen incidents where a person lose everything, so that's real bad. So we thank God that we still got clothes and everything.
Friends helped the family pack what little they have left into their car. They'll be relocated to another apartment in the complex thanks to the generosity of the apartment manager.
Oh, this is the Christmas season, and you don't want to uproot people. You try to keep them as situated as possible, especially people with small children.
The Red Cross is also helping out with food and clothing, a welcome gesture for a family hit hard by a disaster like this. Joanne Cardona, 5 Alive News.
Now, the fire department is also investigating the possibility that lighter fluid or gasoline was poured on the fire to help get it started.
And fire officials warn that that is not a very good practice when building a fire in your home. Oklahoma City police have called off their door-to-door search for an elderly blind man who apparently wandered away from his home. 88-year-old Willie Owens was last seen Friday night. A witness said he saw a man fitting Owens' description walking up a street near his house. Authorities combed Owens' neighborhood yesterday, going door-to-door and even using police dogs. Authorities fear Owens isn't dressed properly and could die from exposure to the cold. Today is the end of a long weekend for a lot of people, and to Will Rogers Airport, that meant traffic and lots of it.
As 5 Alive's Kathy Wise reports, travelers are finding smooth sailing coming into Oklahoma City, but getting out is a different matter.
Outside Will Rogers, those waiting to pick up travelers had some traffic to contend with. Inside, it was more of the same, but with people. There were worries of loved ones not showing, but others knew it was time to go and wanted one last kiss. Although Oklahoma City was blessed with nice weather, other areas of the country weren't so fortunate, and that delayed flights coming into our city. But travelers seemed to take it in stride.
Just been delayed from Atlanta. There's bad weather in Atlanta, and it'll be an hour late.
And for some, there was really bad news.
Chances are you're not going to make that 323 connection. The next flight out of Dallas to Austin after 323 is 501. It's going to be on standby also.
If it's not standby, it's standing by for luggage. But with a fast eye and quick hand, it's on your way and out of the airport in a matter of minutes. Kathy Weiss, 5 Alive News.
And one interesting note, Thanksgiving weekend is the busiest one for travel compared with Christmas. That's because people tend to take more time at Christmas rather than try to squeeze travel in over a 4-day period.
And bus stations are also crowded today with holiday travelers. The Greyhound terminal in downtown Oklahoma City is a very, very busy place today. Travelers boarded buses for dozens of different destinations. A lot of holiday travelers prefer bus travel because it's cheaper than flying.
In today's Project Challenge, one education program in Oklahoma is gaining a worldwide reputation. Well, this is the Laser Lab at Oklahoma State University, and PhD candidate Ed Behrens is using lasers to investigate optical properties of various glasses. The Department of Defense rates OSU's Laser Lab as one of the top 4 in the country. Jane Giroux will have more on her Excellence in Education series tonight.
And still ahead on 5 Live News.
The Sooners tried to make it 2-0 early this morning in Hawaii. Highlights later in sports.
Just 1 week remains for racing this year at Remington Park. We'll have an update. And some rodeo goers are honored today in Oklahoma City.
And if you'd like to learn to read, basic education classes are available at the Opportunities Industrialization Centers. Call them at 235-2651. This evening in Assignment, Oklahoma, along with lots of visitors today, the Cowboy Hall of Fame inducted 5 new members into its Rodeo Hall of Fame. Among those honored was Lynn Butler of Elk City. Butler was one of the first to feature a rodeo as a form of entertainment, bringing in some special acts along with cowboys and horses. Also honored today, Ralph Doubleday, Rufus Rollins, Clark McIntyre, and Joe Welch.
You know, we're still getting toys every day from a variety of places for our Toyland, but while it looks like we have a lot of toys here, it is not enough. The mayor's assistant, Mike McAuliffe, the other day said that they expect more kids for the mayor's party this year than they have ever had before. So we need more toys. Today, the boxes were out once again at Remington Park Racetrack. Race fans happily dropped off new toys as they spun the turnstiles. It's just another one of the many places Oklahomans are spreading some early Christmas cheer. Edward Rue didn't go to the racetrack today, but he recently stopped by our studios with his donations. Edward brought all kinds of neat things from Barbies to baby dolls. Come on ahead. And finally, Susan Robineau from Oklahoma City had stopped by to drop off this cute little Christmas mouse. Susan is just one of the many who have been taking the time to donate toys for Toyland. And as we mentioned, the mayor's Christmas party is expected to be bigger than ever this year. Mike and Jennifer are over in Toyland with an update on that situation. Guys?
It just keeps growing, Jeff. You know, it just seems like every day we turn around and we have some people knocking on our door saying we'd like to help out, and we sure appreciate it.
That's right. And here's one of those little Christmas mouses right here. Awfully cute and cuddly, and some little boy or girl is just going to love cuddling up with this in bed on these cold winter nights after the mayor's Christmas party.
Matches your outfit over there. Now, you know, it looks like we have just a ton of toys, and we are getting an incredible amount of help. But what we'd like to do now is help fill up this interview set. We have a lot over there, but as Jeff said earlier, we just simply don't have enough for all the children who need them. We had some people come in and donate some toys today, but this is just the beginning on the interview set. So if you could help us out, drop your toys by 1300 East Britton Road, and we would sure appreciate it. Mike, how about the weather?
Well, Jennifer, it's cooling off across central Oklahoma. Let's check the current conditions as of 5:30 here in the metro. Clear and 41 degrees on its way down. The winds are decreasing out of the northwest at 16 miles per hour. Humidity is 45%. The pressure is rising at 30.13 inches of mercury as modified Arctic high pressure begins to build into the state. And no precipitation today. The morning low is an even freezing. This afternoon's high temperature with the sunshine, 45 degrees. Normals are 33 and 56 for today's date. And the records 16 and 82. Now, across Oklahoma, skies are clear for the most part. Still some fair weather clouds, though, over in the east central portions of the state. And temperatures now range from 37 across the north in Grove, Miami, Grand Lake, Alva, and the Gage-Woodward area, down to a somewhat milder 49 in the southeastern corner around Idabel. And the winds are out of the northwest at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, beginning to decrease. And with clear skies tonight and very low humidities, temperatures are going to drop off fairly rapidly, perhaps even as cold as the upper teens in a few of the very coldest areas across north central and northwestern Oklahoma. Now, here's our satellite picture. There are the fair weather clouds over the eastern parts of the state. Snow is close to Oklahoma City today as the extreme northeastern parts of the state, and early this morning out in the Texas Panhandle and a few flakes of snow in southwestern Oklahoma. On the broad view, we see some thunderstorms still active across portions of the southeast this afternoon. Not nearly what they had yesterday, though, but still a couple of heavy boomers. Now, our attention is now beginning to focus toward the north and west with another cold front headed for Oklahoma. This is a fast mover, and it should come through dry, but with increasing clouds on Tuesday of this week. So a warm up, I think, Monday and Tuesday, and then a cool down again Wednesday and Thursday. And after this front comes through on Tuesday, it looks like an Arctic front might make a run for Oklahoma by about late Wednesday or early Thursday tomorrow, way up in Canada, but it's going to race southward. So it looks like temperatures back down closer to 40 for highs again by Thursday of this week. So all this week, I think, below normal. Temperatures across the nation, mild here in the southern plains, warming up anyway. 50 in Amarillo for a high, 53, lots of sunshine down in Dallas. A lot of cold weather in the north central and northeast. Flurries in the morning and 29 in Chicago. A good chance of lake effect snows and 30 in Buffalo. Thunderstorms and about 53 in Boston. Out west, some mild weather, 74 in Los Angeles and 70. Lots of sunshine, one of my favorite cities, San Diego. The forecast for the metro tonight, clear, a low near 24 degrees. Winds decreasing out of the northwest at 8 to 14 miles per hour. Sun up at 7:18 tomorrow morning. And then for Monday, lots of sunshine, hardly a cloud to be found. A high near 50 by late afternoon. The wind shifting from the west into the southwest at 8 during the morning and then increasing and becoming a bit gusty at about 20 miles per hour by late tomorrow afternoon. Here's the Metro 5-day forecast. You can remember sunny and 50 degrees tomorrow after a morning low temperature around 24, and then near freezing on Tuesday morning and 51 with partly cloudy skies Tuesday afternoon, and then cooling off again behind that front, partly cloudy and 44 on Wednesday, and then Thursday morning about 22 degrees here in central Oklahoma with a high of 41 with sunshine, and Friday moderating with a high temperature of 47. So those temperatures are very typical of the week before or after Christmas time, so it's very appropriate with all the toys around us.
You bet. Thank you, Mike.
You bet.
Well, coming next on 5 Alive News, the second phase of that new immigration law is about to end. We'll have an update for you.
And if you'd like to donate to 5 Alive's Toyland, grab a pencil or commit it to memory. Here is a list of some donation sites.
Ben Zorza is taking the weekend off. Larry Blunt filling in with some word about time running out, I believe.
That's right, and a story that should interest a lot of employers out there, too, as well, Jennifer. New sanctions begin this week against employers who hire illegal immigrants. To update you, illegal aliens who work on American farms have until Wednesday to apply for amnesty under the new immigration law. The legalization office in Oklahoma City was swamped this week by immigrants rushing to meet the deadline. Now, in order to be legalized, an immigrant must have worked in agriculture for at least 90 days between May 1985 and May 1986. Beginning Thursday, December 1st, employers caught hiring immigrants who don't have the proper papers will face some big fines. Well, there's just 1 week left before the inaugural racing season ends at Remington Park. Next Sunday is the last day to place your bets. 5 Alive's Kathy Weiss has an update.
When the bugle sounded for the opening of Remington Park, thousands were on hand for the long-awaited pari-mutuel racing in Oklahoma. Since then, Remington Park has become one of the top 8 racetracks in the country. Attendance at Remington is averaging about 11,000 a day with a handle of more than $1 million.
The success of this meeting has been beyond our wildest expectations. To draw 11,000 fans a day in the fall with college football and so many other sports that you're competing against, I think anyone would agree that's a phenomenal number to post during your inaugural season.
Chamblin says the handle and attendance has increased steadily since opening week, and he expects it to do even better in the spring. Kathy Weiss, 5 Alive News.
Now, the spring thoroughbred meet begins February 3rd and goes through the end of April. There will also be several promotions, including a college day and a $250,000 Remington Park Derby Day. Well, one way to tell how well the Christmas shopping season is going is to look at how many checks were written. Now, keeping that in mind, the traditional day after Thanksgiving shopping spree was a lot slower than last year. In Update, we find the number of checks written on Friday fell by 24%. A company called Telecheck Southwest out of Houston surveyed 900 stores in Oklahoma City and 700 in Tulsa to arrive at that figure. That 24% drop is just for Friday and it does not include cash and credit purchases. And I imagine some of those folks waited until Saturday, and some of them, like Jeff, will wait until closer to Christmas.
Christmas Eve, probably, to be exact.
Worked well under pressure.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks, Larry. Well, it is hula hoop time for the Sooners.
Dick Pryor will give us highlights from the Maui Classic. Stay with us. In between the luau's and the trips to the beach, OU is playing a little basketball.
Yeah,
They have time to?
Yeah, I think they have found time to by the looks of it so far. The OU basketball team has taken its trip to Hawaii seriously. So seriously, in fact, they find themselves playing in the championship game of the Maui Classic tonight against Michigan. The third-rated Wolverines made it to the finals by beating Memphis State 79-75. Fourth-ranked OU advanced with an 83-81 win over Nevada, Las Vegas in last night's first semifinal game. The Runnin' Rebels broke on top early. Watch this play. Stacey Augmon to George Ackles for a rim rattler. UNLV entered the game ranked 8th in the nation, according to AP. Mookie Blaylock makes a great play here. He blocks the shot, leads the break, and takes it in himself to give the Sooners a 19-14 lead. Mookie scored 12 in the game. The Sooners find an inside threat in JUCO transfer William Davis. He slams home 2 of his game-high 19 points. Stacey King scored 16. Damon Patterson added 13. Andre Wiley scores at the end of this break. The Sooners led by 2 at halftime and won by the same margin to go 2-0 on the season. The Sooners game with Michigan is scheduled to tip off tonight at midnight, Oklahoma time. OSU dropped its regular season opener last night at Pittsburgh. The Cowboys host Samford on Tuesday night. Just 3 weeks remain in the NFL regular season. Today, the Buffalo Bills could have clinched the home field advantage for the AFC playoffs, but the Cincinnati Bengals had other ideas. The Bengals opened the scoring late in the first quarter on this 3-yard run by James Brooks. The Bengals led 21-0 before the Bills finally scored. Former OU All-American Ricky Dixon picked off his first NFL interception in the second quarter when he stepped in front of a Jim Kelly pass, and Ricky makes a nice return. The Bills rallied in the second half. Former OSU star Thurman Thomas dashes 29 yards right here. The Bills' rally fell short, and the Bengals won 35-21. Here are scores from Week 13 of the NFL season. Cincinnati over Buffalo. Pittsburgh beat Kansas City 16-10. Chicago over Green Bay 16-0. And Cleveland beat Washington. The Skins still struggling 17-13. Atlanta over Tampa Bay 17-10, and Philadelphia beat Phoenix. The win keeps the Eagles tied for first in the NFC East. A miserable day at Veterans Stadium. The Cardinals win in front on this run by Earl Farrell. A 17-yard touchdown play. Phoenix led 14-7 at halftime. In the third quarter, Randall Cunningham tossed an 8-yard touchdown pass to Chris Carter to put the Eagles ahead to stay 17-14, 31-21, the final. At the Meadowlands, Dan Marino fires to Farrell Edmonds, and the big guy from Maryland does the rest. 80 yards for a touchdown, the longest pass play involving a tight end in the NFL in 4 years. Miami leads 34-24 halfway through the third quarter, but the Jets rally in the fourth. Ken O'Brien's 18-yard touchdown pass to Wesley Walker completes the comeback, and the Jets dump Miami 38-34. Now back to the scoreboard. And there you see the final score. New England and Indianapolis tied at 14 in the fourth quarter. Also in the fourth, San Francisco leads San Diego, and Denver is putting it on the LA Rams. The Giants and Saints play tonight, and tomorrow night, Monday Night Football right here on 5 Alive. It's the Raiders going against Seattle. Raymond Floyd won the made-for-TV Skins Game golf tournament with a 2-day total of $290,000. Floyd won a mere $165,000 when he drained this putt on the 16th hole. In last year's Skins game, Lee Trevino scored a hole-in-one on the 17th hole. Well, he didn't do it again today, but he did sink this long putt for a $2 and $35,000. Jack Nicklaus won $125,000 in this year's event. Curtis Strange, the leading money winner on the tour, was shut out. But don't worry for Curtis, because he won over $1 million this year, so he's okay.
Good night.
Okay.
He can pay the bills.
Oh, you on television tonight?
Yes, tonight at midnight on ESPN.
You want to stay up?
Right.
Lots of coffee.
I will.
Well, don't go away. We'll have a final word when we get back.
And for those of us who will be getting out and about tomorrow, here's another look at the forecast you can remember. Looking for some sunshine tomorrow and not bad temperatures. Mike's got details on that.
That's right. Lots of sunshine across Oklahoma tomorrow, but a cold November night across the state. Lows tonight here in the metro around 24 degrees with decreasing winds, but nearly 100% possible sunshine and about 50 tomorrow. Not too bad. Dick?
Okay, and again, Sooner fans, the OU basketball game against Michigan is on ESPN tonight, and that will start at around midnight.
Take a nap for that.
Yes.
And be sure to join us at 10 for 5 Alive News tonight. This evening, Jerry Harris introduces us to an Edmond teenager who's very proud of her Arabian horse.
Oklahoma's horse country.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again at 10.
This has been a presentation of 5 Alive News, recognized as the leader in Oklahoma broadcast journalism.
Good Morning Oklahoma.
Followed by Good Morning America. Tomorrow on 5 Alive.